Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start our video with a story with a wholesome ending in which we tell why before you sell or buy something you need to sign a contract. It helped our OP to save his money. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Entitled father demands money back. So this happened a long time ago. I had an old scooter that I wanted to sell since I'd bought a car and got my actual driver's license, so I didn't need it anymore. It still worked well, always took real good care of it, and the mileage wasn't that bad either. I even just replaced the exhaust, which set me back a loan for about 100 euros. The scooter had cost 1,500 euros when I bought it, and I wanted 500 for it. To the best of my memory, the exchange went something like this. Me is me, EF is entitled father. Exchange through text messages. EF, is the scooter available? Me, yes it is. I'll give you 200 for it. No, sorry, I won't go any lower than 500. 250. It's for my son. He's 16 and I want to buy him his first scooter. No, 500 is my lowest. 300? 500. 350? 500. 400? 600 it is. Okay, 500 is good. So after that, we set a date to meet. EF shows up along with his son. To my complete surprise, he actually showed up with 500 euros. So the exchange was made and I hand over the keys. Note that for exchanges for big items like this, I always draw up a little note that both of us sign as an agreement of purchase. EF signed this paper along with me. I explicitly warned both of them that he needs to be careful as the scooter has quite a thrust on it if you're not used to it, and it could be tricky for someone who never rode one before. EF and son ignore me. The son gets on the scooter, starts it, and immediately goes full throttle on my parents' driveway, still living at home at the time. He almost immediately loses control, starts to swerve, and crashes into a nearby flower bed, one that's surrounded with massive stone blocks. He crashes it so hard that the front axle of the scooter is completely bent and unusable. The flower bed is relatively unharmed. It was empty at the time, and those stone blocks could survive a bombing. EF then turns to me. Scooter's broken. Yeah, I can see that. I told you to be careful. I'm not paying for a broken scooter. Give me my money back. But your son's the one who broke it. After buying it, I might add. You promised me a working scooter. This one doesn't work. If you don't give my money back, you're stealing, and I'm calling the police. Go ahead. I have the paperwork here that says you bought it and that it was in working order when you did. Call them. At that point, the EF just collects his son and broken scooter, loads both in his car, and leaves. Never heard from him again. Should have offered him 200 for the broken scooter and written up a contract for the sale. And our second story. I was required to wear a suit. Years back when I worked in retail, menswear, I was required to wear a suit. Problem: I'm 6'3" tall, and at the time only weighed 147 pounds. I was a 39-inch chest with a 28-inch waist. But by God, I was fit, even if you could count my ribs at 100 yards on a moonless night. So most of my clothes, including shirts and ties, were never long enough, had to be made to measure. Expensive, but I looked good. Our area manager came in one day and says, "Nice suit, is that one of ours?" I opened the jacket to show him the label of a competitor, one that did made to measure. He was furious. Then he demanded that I either A, get my suits from them, the company I worked for, or B, have that label removed and one of ours put in its place. I told him we didn't have anything in the size I needed and that I'd been, most strongly, advised not, under any circumstances, to get a made-to-measure suit from our company because the people who made the suits never got it right. He insisted that when I needed a new suit to call him and he would come along and measure me up. So the next time I need a suit, I called him and he came along and took the measurements. After about 8 weeks, the suit duly arrived, I tried it on, then phoned him. When he came in, I put the suit on and walked out of the fitting room, holding up the trousers with both hands. He laughed and told me I didn't need to do that, they couldn't possibly fit that bad. So I let go, and they promptly fell to my ankles in a shop filled with customers and with all the other staff watching while they served customers. So of course they promptly go into hysterical laughter. Although I hadn't actually said what I was going to do, they knew me pretty well, so they had a pretty good idea of what was going to happen. The people who'd made the suit obviously couldn't read. The waist was 38 inches. As for the jacket, a family of 4 could have set up camp in it. It was huge. It went back, and he never said another word about me buying suits from other companies. And our last story. Entitled lady threatens to fire the owner. My dad is a chiropractor and has been practicing for over 30 years. He has a long-standing practice in our small hometown, and the entire community basically goes to him. Well, those who need it. I followed in his footsteps and work at a clinic in the city. Last year, he decided to retire, and instead of selling the practice, I wanted to take it over. But in the meantime, I had to do part-time at my office and part-time in his until I can transition most of my patients to other chiropractors. I hire another 2 chiropractors for the office to do part-time as well until I can take over my father's practice full-time. A year into this, things are going great. We get some moody patients here and there, but it's understandable because they're usually in pain and frustrated. One day, entitled lady comes into the office. We'll call her Karen. She comes in about 15 minutes before we're even open. I just arrived from the gym, so I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. I'm taking out some trash when I hear someone ringing the doorbell profusely. Not one ring. Wait. Another ring. Wait. Then mad ringing, just straight up pushing the button like her life depended on it. I open the door. "It's about time you answered." "Can I help you, ma'am?" "I have an appointment at 9:30 a.m. Why aren't you open yet?" "Because we don't open until 10 a.m. I'm thinking either the other chiropractor has an appointment now or someone made a mistake. Please, come in. Who are you here to see?" "The chiropractor, of course. Are you garbage men that stupid?" Me, realizing I'm holding the garbage. "Let me double-check the calendar. Please have a seat." I go throw away the garbage, then head back into the office and start looking at the calendar at the receptionist's desk. There's no appointment for that time, and in fact, there are no appointments until 10. "Ma'am, are you sure you have an appointment at 9:30? I don't—" "Yes, I'm positive. I'm not an idiot like you." "Sorry, ma'am, but there's nothing in our calendar for this morning. What's your name?" "My name is Karen. Karen Beach." See what I did there? "Sorry, but there's no appointment in that name." "This is unacceptable. Why can't you people do anything right? I'm going to make sure you get fired. I've been coming here for 5 years, and I've never been treated like this. I know the owner, and you're never going to work in this town again." I checked for her records and got nothing. My dad is meticulous with records. He adapted to the digital age ASAP, so every one of our customers is in a cloud-based software system. Just to double-check, I go into the cabinets in the back. No record of her. Plus, our town is small. I would have seen her around or seen her come at least once in the last year if she'd been a patient. Eventually, our receptionist comes in. "Finally, you're here. Tell this stupid employee of yours that I have an appointment here." Receptionist is confused as hell. But are you going to adjust me or not?" The receptionist looks at me, and I give her a quick nod and a just go with it look. Receptionist, "I'll get everything taken care of. Please have a seat and we'll get everything sorted out." In the back, I tell the receptionist what's going on, and she's on the floor laughing. She eventually composes herself, and I change into my work clothes, which is just slacks and a dress shirt. Receptionist, "Excuse me, ma'am. We don't have you in our calendar. I'm afraid we just can't treat you—" "Are you effing stupid? I made an appointment over a month ago. I'm going to call the owner right now." Karen walks out and gets her phone out. The first patient of my day arrives and he checks in. Karen then comes back in and starts yelling again. "You guys are screwed now. I just talked to the owner and he's on his way down here right now." I come back into the reception area. "Ah, John Doe, come on back. I was here first. The owner will hear of this." "Ma'am, please calm down." "Shut up, you trash!" Just then my dad shows up at the clinic. "Ah, now you're all dead. Your staff has been quite rude to me, and I demand they're all fired." My dad looks at her and says, "Do I know you?" "It's me, Karen Beach. I'm friends with your wife. We met last week. You told me to come here for treatment." "Oh, that's right. How can I help you?" "These fools here didn't book my appointment, and they've been very rude, and I want them all fired." A huge grin appears on her face. Wait, you said you met me last week? Yes, are you deaf? You said earlier that your appointment was made a month ago. If you only met me last week, how did you make an appointment that far ahead? Karen's smile goes away and starts stuttering. You heard me wrong. I said a week ago. Say, you can't even listen. Dad chimes in. All right, that's enough. I'll take care of this. Karen's smug grin comes back. He turns to Karen. Please step outside for a second. Karen then leaves. Dad looks to me and says, what's going on here? I explained to my dad what happened, and he just starts shaking his head. My dad says, your mother and I met this woman last week when we were out with your mahjong friends. She's a crazy woman who kept yelling and screaming at everyone around her like she was the damn Queen of England. No one likes her, but she just keeps coming around. Somebody noticed she was rubbing her neck and told her that I was a chiropractor, and I reluctantly told her to come here. Sorry, son. No problem, Dad. It was quite amusing. The next part was a bit hard to hear as it happened outside, and it was muffled most of the time and only heard Karen's yell here and there. Though it's not hard to guess what happened, my dad explained to Karen that she had insulted his son, my staff, and that she was not welcome at the practice anymore. We saw a lot of arms raised and waving and Karen getting in my dad's face, but my dad's 6 foot and fairly muscular as he does exercise quite a bit. He's a very fit man for his 50s. Karen tried spreading a rumor that we were a bad business all over town, but since my dad has such a strong reputation, all it did was make the entire town hate her. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.